The draft Clairemont Community Plan update came out last week or the week before maybe. It maintains the 30-foot height limit and single-family home zoning around the 2 new trolley stations on the Mid-Coast Trolley. Why is that?
I think that's a draft of a plan. We'll continue to go through a public process and a political process as well. We'll see where it ends up, but there are substantial increases of density elsewhere in the Clairemont area. Clairemont is historically a single-family neighborhood. It is rapidly changing. It's the neighborhood I grew up in, and it needs greater investment. It needs more infrastructure. Infrastructure like the Mid-Coast Trolley will certainly be helpful, but Clairemont is a massive community. I mean, it is extremely large. And when I look at that community, not only do I see opportunity along the trolley line, but I see a lot of opportunity at the sort of mid-century, extremely large shopping centers, big box retailers that increasingly probably don't reflect what our future as a city will look like. I think that there's going to be a lot of change in Clairemont. I hear from the community a desire to see change, to see upgraded amenities, more public infrastructure, more parks, better libraries. We are trying to craft a plan there that will actually achieve that, and that is made more possible because the trolley will be coming to that community later this year.
So how is that 30-foot height limit and that single-family zoning around the trolley stations in keeping with your campaign promise to increase density near transit and to put aside the small-town thinking and think like a big city?
Well, again, this is not a final moment. There will be opportunities to potentially revise this plan. The area that you're talking about is a very small part of that community. I think when you look at the totality of what we're trying to do in Clairemont, it is different. I'll remind you, there will be people who will not be comfortable with that, and we're going to have to go through that process. Ultimately, what we want to have happen there is an adopted community plan update that will effectuate more housing production, like what we've seen in North Park and in Golden Hill. We know that this is how we actually build more housing, and that's going to be critically important. What we don't want to have happen is a Barrio Logan plan that just sits in purgatory for nearly a decade with nothing happening, and as a consequence, very little housing being produced. Regardless of what happens in terms of the final plan, an adopted plan with a programmatic EIR and the kinds of surety that comes with that plan will most certainly increase the amount of housing in our community, and it'll be in a key neighborhood that I think is really important to our city's future, again, because there will be transit access. It's close to our job centers up in the Kearney Mesa and in the Sereno Valley area. This is a critical plan that we must pass, and I'm very committed to making sure it gets done.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely, sir.